Hey there guys, it's me, ZayLovestoDraw, and today I wanted to make something cool. And I'm going to do such by making some ceramics. First off, I started off by grabbing all my tools that I need, kneading the clay, and making it a round ball, making it as flat and cylindrical as possible. And then I placed it on the wheel at the center, and I made sure it was dry. And then I wet it afterwards. See, I'm not very good at this. I'm actually brand new at throwing on the wheel, so I just have to show my very bad practice so far. And I think I'm getting better. I've made 2 bowls so far, that's something. I put on my proper gear here. And then I got to actually throwing, adding more water when needed. You see, if there's something I learned from doing this ceramics, teaching it and throwing on the wheel, it's that failure makes you win in the end. Failure is very important. It's something that we all need. If you want to do something, you have to fail at it first. If you want to be better at something, you want to master something. First of all, teaching something, you will master it no matter what. But also, if you fail at it and you do it constantly, or you do the actual thing enough to fail at it, then all those failures will eventually add up, and they will make you successful in the future. So that's something to keep in mind, and something that I've learned, of course, throughout my life. Something I think that is very important. Alright, so I am at the point where I'm just starting to put a hole in the center. Of course, it's not rounded correctly at the top, but pulling it is very hard, and I'm still a noob. Once I have put the hole down, I go in with my finger and on the side and on the inside, and I pull that up as much as I can. There's something very relaxing about doing ceramics early in the morning before the kids come in. And that's something I've always loved, something I've always felt as comforting. If you enjoy these comforting vibes and the advice I'm giving, anything to do with ceramics, painting, drawing, animation, digital art, or comic, then I think you should subscribe. So click that subscribe bell, and thanks so much for supporting. I was thinking at this point, maybe I'm making a bowl, maybe I'm making a cup. Either way, it's a little slurpy, it's lopsided, and I don't think it's supposed to be. And that is just okay. That is failure in the making, of course. But I'm also still learning. Feeling the actual bowl be created in my hands, seeing the wheel turn and understanding the way that the water creates more adhesion around the actual bowl. It helps. All of it. The environment, all of these are aspects of making a successful thing in the future. Of course, learning what you're doing wrong as well. See, putting so much water on the inside definitely is not helping. I would have recommended past me to have scrounged out some of that water with the sponge and made sure that it wasn't sticking to the bottom. That way it didn't create a softer and weaker bottom. But also I was pulling too much on the sides here, and that's creating that wobble, and I'm not doing it equally. So that's another thing I would recommend it. Keep a steady hand and make sure that they're both touching each other. My hands should be touching, not far apart. How will you get stability if your hands are separated? I obviously gave up at this point. I'm just gonna clean up, get rid of the excess. I was thinking of cutting it in half, but then I just gave up on cutting it in half, I think. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, this looks like a bowl. It's a very lopsided bowl. Could have been more well placed when I was creating it. So, I go in, and then I'm thinking about, well, it's pretty round. The walls are pretty even. And then I was like, maybe I should actually check and see if it's actually even. Of course, I'm washing off my hands. And by the way, the clay feels like you're sanding your hands. It feels like sand. And it's a really bad feeling, actually. So once you're done wiping and sanding your hands, you go in and try and cut it. Except, I didn't know the proper method for cutting this at the time yet. So that's the wrong way of doing that. And voila, I have a bottom cut out. I know now what to do. You're supposed to drown out the bottom and make sure it's incredibly wet so that it can push itself off with all the water along with it. I was just trying to see the walls and how even I got it at the bottom and around each surface, and even then, I think they were pretty thick. They could have been a little bit thinner, and that's okay, but at least I learned, and that's all. Thanks!